Anyways. Chat. I'm telling you, chat. It's not me, okay? All right? It's not me, all right? We have another disrespectful live streamer who went to South Korea. Yep. We have another one, chat. We have another one, honestly. They keep coming out, man. They're coming out of the woodworks, you know. They're like roaches, you know. They're like Asmongold's roaches, you know. They just kind of come out all at once, you know, or like little by little, you know. But anyways, let's see who's the. I would assume it's probably a kick streamer. So I want to know who is the kick streamer that decided to do some disrespectful in South Korea again. I see the statue in the background. So you know.
Oh boy, another Somali clone disturbing the peace in Korea. Let's find out.
Yep, you know it. Let's find out, shall we? Let's find out what seems to be the issue this time. Who it is.
This disrespectful streamer just fled Korea.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. Wow. Well, would you look at that? Look at the skin tone, to be honest. Wow, crazy, huh?
Yeah, after the police confronted him to avoid charges.
I got a hose. I'm gonna get a strong zero right now. Big mafia, big boys, big. That's a girl? Well, if that's a girl, I want her. Is that a girl? Hello? Are you a girl? Oh, nah, I want you. What's up, baby? You got a fat ass. No. Fuck all that extra shit. I want you, baby. Look at that ass, bro.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Okay. Ugh, I feel so fucking disgusted right now, to be honest.
The bar has been set so low for IRL streamers, and somehow things just keep on getting more tragic. And because of how this guy acts, he's now been labeled as the new golden goblin after disrespecting people around in South Korea and Japan and being reported by news channels worldwide. I mean, you can't make this up. How?
We got a new golden goblin, chat. We got a new golden goblin, boys. We got another one, chat. Shit, man.
Are they multiplying? Who in their right mind sees Johnny Somali facing over a decade in South Korean prison and goes, I want to do that? What is wrong with these people? Come on. Also, to quickly explain the Golden Goblin term, there are groups of Koreans who are frustrated with these people coming into their country and live streaming themselves harassing people for clout. So they started putting bounties on knocking these people out. Johnny Somali was the first example of that. And the reason for the term Golden Goblin is if you knock them out, they drop loot, like a video game. But in this case, the loot is whatever bounty they put on him. For Johnny, it was rumored to be around $10,000. So we're not talking about small sums of money. That's actually kind of a crazy amount of loot right there. But if you followed my channel for a while, you probably know that I've been covering plenty of nuisance streamers disturbing the peace in foreign countries, especially in Asia recently. Over the past few weeks, we have Johnny Somali. I guess that was just the beginning. Then you had Joshua Block in Japan and Vitaly now in the Philippines. But this guy today might be taking the crown for the dumbest speedrun to jail. Or well, almost jail, because he ended up fleeing the country after all this happened. Because what's actually kind of crazy is this guy had somewhat of a legitimate career before all this went down. So meet Dave Willis, also.
So he had a normal career, but then decided to do something stupid like this, basically. Wow, ain't that fucking something, to be honest.
Known as Black Dave, a former rapper and professional skateboarder who was known back in the day for blending hip-hop and skating in custom-made music videos.
It's Black Dave, and you rocking with Route 1. Let's turn up. New York City, we in this, UK. Let's go.
In 2012, he dropped a song called Black Donald Trump and joined a hip-hop/punk crew called Black Punk, in which he stayed a member until 2016 when Dave announced that he would no longer be making rap music.
I put on my Instagram that I lost motivation to create rap music. I feel like I'm just creating music for what people want to hear and not for who I am and really what I want to put out there.
Fast forward a couple of years and he became a New York-based influencer and YouTuber. He gained most of his traction on Instagram, where he had most of his followers, but over time he's given quite a few interviews on podcasts and other media vehicles, primarily for his skateboarding, rapping, and his role in New York City. I mean, he was even trusted enough that No Jumper chose him to interview Ice Spice in 2020.
What the fuck happened to him? He's like such a chill dude. What the hell happened to him, you know? I like Asian girls, but his manners is extremely disgusting. It is highly uncalled for. Yeah. It's interesting. He saw his numbers drop, lost it, and wanted to stay relevant. Probably. Like, I don't really care if I lose, like, you know, let's say, for example, right? Let's put this in a good example, right? The best example I can give it, right? You know, when I start singing, right? When I start singing here on stream and everything, I start losing, you know, I start losing people. I would assume, right? Because I'm not really a good singer or anything like that, right? So I would definitely, like, lose, like, people watching me and everything like that, right? Because I'm trying to practice singing and everything, right? Because nobody wants to hear my shitty singing. Don't worry, it's okay. I don't like hearing my shitty singing either, so. But you gotta practice somehow, right? But that's usually, like, for me personally, like, because I don't look at my numbers or anything like that, right? So I'm just taking a good estimated guess or so, right? That people, like, you know, that people, people, you know, stop watching me or so, mute me or whatever, you know, right? It's like, well, I personally don't care because number one, right? I'm trying to practice. That's number one, because you can't practice if you don't put in the work at the end of the day. So personally, I don't really care if I lose people or so from time to time or so, you know, watching me, because I don't really care, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to do me, and then you know, the people who actually do want to, you know, hang out with me and, you know, and try and hear me, you know, actually like progress or so are the legit, the real peeps, you know. Those are the real peeps in here.
22. So it's safe to say Black Dave had somewhat of a niche carved out for himself, not only by the audience, but also by his
If you want
colleagues.
to retail PPL when you sing, you just need to weave in some insults in the lyrics of the practice song, and PPL will wake the fuck up and start donating Kappa HD.
Nah, I'm good.
However, if that was all, and his story stopped there, we wouldn't really be talking about him here on this channel. So what happened? How do we go from interviewing major artists to allegedly assaulting Korean citizens for live stream content? Well, in an interview, Dave tells us that it all started last year when he watched Ice Poseidon's scavenger hunt streams, and he ended up going, you know what? I want to live stream in New York City.
Perfect opportunity to like start something off. You know, it was almost like the cards
So that's where it started. It started with Ice Poseidon.
fell in my hand. It was up to me. It was like, do you want to do this or not? Everybody's in your city right now. Take advantage.
What a terrible
Just like Ice,
way to
Dave
start
chose
out, you
Kick
know?
as a central platform, a decision that would eventually come back to bite him, but surprisingly not for the main reason I'm talking about today. And to be fair, his content here in the US was pretty tame and mild compared to some of the other stuff that I've been covering here on this channel. He would occasionally do something stupid, but still, the worst he did back then was manually try to open some gate barrier, break it, then flee the scene, rather than simply paying. Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
God, bro, this place.
Wow. Wow.
Get me out of here. 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 Right now. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Jesus
Why,
Christ.
dude? Why? And why live stream yourself doing it? Well, then you had a clip where he got arrested for parking his bike in front of a small grocery store.
Hi. My ID? Something wrong? I know, but it's 50cc. I was told 50cc. I don't need a plate. And I literally just came from upstairs. All my stuff is upstairs. I was told it's upstairs.
Have your name?
Yeah. Oh my god. All right, stream. I'm getting arrested, guys.
Put this stuff down.
No, I have to at least turn my stuff off. Just allow me to turn. I'm turning it off. I'm just turning it off. That's all.
You need to put this stuff down.
Okay, I'm giving it to you. I'm
Put
giving
your
it
stuff
to
on
you.
the ground. Take this bag off.
And then another time where some random guy crashed into his bike, even though, to be fair, that last one wasn't Dave's fault.
What are we talking about? Oh, you're a dude. And I just cut my whole hand up because you. So where's my skateboard, bro? Where's my shit at, bro? What? You're an idiot, dude. What you mean? You just ran the light. What do you mean? I was waiting this way. What? Go ahead. You idiot.
So, Compared to Johnny Somali's Hall of Fame idiotic behavior,
yeah.
Dave was just some guy who genuinely was live streaming his life. You know, the actual point of IRL streaming. But clearly, he also live streamed himself doing some absolute dumb shit. From time to time, Dave collaborated with other smaller US IRL streamers who he called friends. From Kick streamers to Twitch streamers to YouTube and even Rumble influencers. One of these guys was OG Yeezer, a Las Vegas-based IRL streamer who also calls himself the OG Majestic Lion. And to put things lightly, he's a problematic character. And also—
that makes sense. This is one of the reasons why I would never ever live stream IRL.
also becomes important to the story later on. But more recently, he got in touch with Ice Poseidon himself, a guy who admittedly inspired Dave in the first place and basically is the grandfather of IRL streaming, even though he's had his fair share of absolute moronic moments throughout his career. And when Ice went out to Japan to live stream 24/7, Dave was one of the characters who started showing up in those live streams. And at first, things seemed to be okay. Dave really wanted to distance himself from the nuisance streamer title, and he even made a point to go to the actual comfort statue and pay his respects, because he wanted to demonstrate that he actually respected the Koreans and their culture.
Here, I'm here to give peace, love, and show respect for this statue and what it represents. We are not nuisance streamers. We show love, we show peace, and respect.
Even though I couldn't find a clip of Dave being a part of CX, which is Ice Poseidon's group, or interacting with the guys before the trip to the Asian countries, Dave clearly stated his loyalty to his colleagues, especially when he defended Ice Poseidon when some fan kind of pressed him.
Ice Poseidon! Yeah!
It's all downhill
Are
from
you
there.
friend of Johnny Somali?
No, he's not. He's not. He's not. Why you said that though?
No, that
Not though.
motherfucker's going to jail.
Okay, so why you touching
He's
him?
going to jail.
You ain't gotta touch nobody though. You good,
I
bro?
ain't touching you, bro. I'm a
You
little drunk.
just touched him though.
I'm just drunk.
You good though? Back up
I'm
though.
trying to make friends, bro.
Are you a fan? Are you a fan of Ice?
Yes,
So show love, bro.
I am. Hey, bro.
All right, bro. Come cordial.
Respect.
Don't come like, are you a friend of Johnny Somali? Sound like you trying to press, bro.
No, the
Relax, bro. You good, bro.
drama be
And you
like
a little
that, though.
swole, bro. So we gotta watch out for you, bro. All right,
But you understand the drama, though.
Johnny Somali. What now?
That
Johnny Somali. What
motherfucker,
now?
He's about to run.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so while that's good and all, here's the thing about claiming that you're not a nuisance streamer. Your actions kind of have to back that up as well. And the problem is, Dave's actions speak way louder than his words, and his actions in Korea and Japan tell a very different story from what he initially said. For example, when he started following a woman around a convenience store in Japan being an absolute waste of space in society.
Wait, in
I got a
Japan?
whole. I'm gonna get a strong zero right now.
Oh yeah, that's Japan.
Big Chin Chin Mafia, Big Chin Chin boys, Big. Hey, that's a girl? Well, if that's a girl, I want her. Is that a girl? Hello? Are you a girl? Oh, nah, I want you. What's up, baby? You got a fat old. No. F all that extra shit. I want you, baby.
Oh man, dude, this is interesting how it's completely like different or so.
Look at that ass, bro. I want that, bro. She thick as hell, bro. I like thick Johns, bro. No. F all that extra shit. Let me get your number.
Really?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing now? Calling him pathetic would be an understatement. Like, seeing people act
It
like this
is.
is always a great reminder that your life is actually going pretty well. You don't need to be a burden to society to make a living.
probably doesn't even
there are
have a
many
big
other clips
dick
of him being
anyways.
disrespectful to people who were just minding their own business. Like when he got into this taxi with his phone on low battery.
Plug in. Can you please plug in, sir?
이걸 꽂으시 왜냐하면 그것은
Please.
내 것이기 때문이다.
Please, bro. Plug this in, bro.
Oh man, I mean, if there's a language barrier, yelling at them because you can't control your emotions will not help you. If you simply use a translation app like Papa Go, your life will be infinitely easier and you won't be giving Americans and influencers a garbage reputation over there. I mean, the simple action of just being respectful will get you so far in life. But the worst incident, and the main reason for this video, must be when he allegedly assaulted a man in Seoul while he was trying to get into a car.
Oh, burger. Yo, don't touch me, bro. Well, you don't touch me. Oh, touch me. What's up with you? What's wrong with you? Get in that car. Get in that car.
What the fuck?
Crazy out here, son. I'll break your neck.
While we couldn't really see exactly what happened in this video, Korean media has been referring to this as an assault, and whatever happened was serious enough that someone called the police, who later arrived at the scene.
What did I do, bro?
you do it.
I'm not doing anything, bro. What did I do? Literally, what did I do? No, what did I do, bro? No, what did I just do, though? Nah, what did I do, bro? I'm literally trying to go home, bro.
Okay.
I'm going home, bro.
Home, I will know.
No, I'm trying to go home. Let me go home, bro. Let me go home, bro. Please. Let me just go home, bro. Please. I'm going home.
So this interaction was pretty similar to
What
the
a
first
fucking
interactions that Johnny
idiot.
Somali had with the police in Korea. They didn't really have enough to arrest him, but it was clear that they started investigating him. And some Twitter users wasted no time in calling Dave the new Golden Goblin. And just like what happened with the original Golden Goblin, the Korean news channels were all over this.
A video recently surfaced on an online community showing a foreign YouTuber assaulting a pedestrian during a live broadcast in Korea. The YouTuber, identified as rapper Black Dave, appeared to have been reacting to the pedestrian parking his car on the sidewalk. In the footage, the YouTuber suddenly approached a man who was about to enter his vehicle, punched him in the face, and insulted him.
What
The
the
victim
fuck?
staggered, visibly shaken by the totally unexpected.
What the fuck? Are you serious? Oh my god, dude.
attack. While his actions may be seen as vigilante justice by some, violence is never justifiable or condoned in the country's criminal justice system and will most likely result in the perpetrator being prosecuted. The situation was particularly dangerous as the victim was wearing glasses, which could have led to more severe injuries.
So after all these reports blew up, Dave, I guess, learned something from the Johnny Somali incident and got up and fled the country. He was out of there so fast after that happened. He clearly was like, I am not spending a decade in jail here. I'm not going to be caught up in some legal limbo situation for the next year. So he just bounced right back to the US. And then after he got back to the US, he made a response video to this.
So I appreciate Korea so much. In the future, I'm going to learn from my mistakes and learn how to move better. I believe at the end of the video, I reacted in a way that I shouldn't have. I got very angry and I reacted verbally. But again, I did not lay a hand on that gentleman and he did not lay a hand on me. Kick has already had a lot of bad publicity with Johnny Somali, and I want to let people know I'm not a Johnny Somali 2.0. I don't respect him. I don't want to be like him. So it's unfortunate that I'm being compared to him. I just got a little carried away, just trying to be funny, you know, just trying to make a joke out of this man's situation. So look, he tries to open the door, he can't get in. I was just walking by and saw that. As soon as he looks at me, is when it happens. You see his hand. You see his fist go up. You see his fist go up.
The problem is why are you even in his business? Why are you being so close up in his business for no apparent reason? Why are you sticking the camera in his face? Why? What the fuck is what is your problem? What's the answer to that, huh? I like how he's trying to say like, oh, it's this guy's fault. He touched me, you know, and all this other shit. Okay, so why the fuck are you in his goddamn space, you know? Like you're literally walking up to his ass, you know, shoving the camera in his face, you know?
You see his hand go up. That's when the camera goes out of focus. This is his hand right here. This is his hand right here. You see his hand go up, that's when it goes out of focus. You see his fist right here, his knuckles. That's his knuckles. They tried to put this clip before to make it seem like I'm getting paid to do this, or I'm getting subs and doing this for subs. It was two completely separate moments.
I mean, that could also just be him flinching from you running up in his face because he didn't do anything to provoke you to get that close. But either way, I don't know. It's hard to say when you don't have a better angle. But despite the public disturbance, his passage through Korea and Japan went relatively smooth. Even after things got a little bit more serious for him, but even if he managed to escape his potential repercussions in Korea, it's safe to say his actions started catching up to him. Because just a few days later, when Dave was already back in New York, he got into a fight with his old friend, OG Geezer, who we briefly mentioned earlier. And since he was broadcasting everything when it happened, he immediately got banned on Kick. OG Geezer...
Well, it didn't take very long, did it, huh? Did not take very long, huh?
Was also live on YouTube and Rumble then, but his channels weren't affected on either platform. So I guess that's really it. That's where the story ends, at least for now. As of recording this video, Dave is still banned on Kick, not for allegedly assaulting someone in Korea, but for that incident of fighting OG Geezer in some apartment in New York. I feel like the most unreasonable thing about this whole story is these guys watch Johnny get into some serious legal trouble for everything he's done in Korea in the last few months, and then turn around and go and do the exact same thing. I guess the only thing he learned from Johnny was as soon as he got into some serious hot water, he bounced before it was too late. But either way, just acting this ignorant is pathetic at this point. And all while trying to explicitly distance themselves from the image and insisting that they're not nuisance streamers. If you're not a nuisance streamer, don't act like one. Because come on, the irony is pretty painful with this one. But other than that, feel free to subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Ay. Honestly, it just
This disrespectful streamer just
it just doesn't stop, chat. It just literally does not stop, you know? Hey, Chaos. Like I said, chat, they're just all coming out one by one. They're all coming out of the woodworks, you know? They're all coming out, you know? God fucking A, dude. Oh my lord. Oh my goodness gracious me. What are we gonna do, chat? I feel like they're definitely gonna put a rule. They're so 100% probably gonna be doing some kind of like law or
I'm a
rule.
boom. H rise 1 loaf zoom. H rise 1 loaf zoom. H rise 1 loaf zoom. H rise 1 loaf zoom.
Dude, they're literally gonna hate black people. You know? Personally, I think some Asian people already hate black people, right? There's some racist Asian people, right? But it's just kind of like further and increases the stigmatization or so of black people just being like very nuisance, annoying, disrespectful type of people, They're just kind of like just enforcing it and making it go way more than it needs to be honest. I'm 1000% chat. 1000%. Yeah, that's the problem. Korea's kind of racist, so this is adding gasoline to it. Yep. There's already places black people can't go in those countries. Yep.
Just like in the Philippines, this is why you need a vlogging permit. Nuisance or not, if you get reporting for vlogging. And as an Asian, we're colorist, the racist part is reserved for other Asians.
Yep. Dude, it's just, I feel like there is going to be a breaking point. There's definitely going to be a breaking point where they're gonna just be done with it, and then they're just gonna put a law in it, that you're not allowed to stream and everything like that. So it's crazy. Well, you go to jail for vlogging in the Philippines? I think that's a little bit extreme in my personal opinion. But yeah, like I said, they're definitely gonna put in a law or something like that. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. I had to look it up because my twin wanted to go to Korea and Japan, and it shocked us when we learned about places we weren't allowed to go. Oh yeah. No, there's places. There's places, like, for me, like, if I was like well versed in my Japanese, if I learned from my grandma so a long time ago, I can definitely bypass a lot of that. So a lot of it, because I know Japanese quite a lot. So, and plus I look fucking hella, well, not really hella, but I looked Asian enough to a point where like Japanese people confuse me as a Japanese person. So that's funny. Yeah, no, definitely a lot of these people kind of mess it
It
up.
might sound like it, but that's if you get reported. The permit part is just some petty move to make them suffer even more.
Yeah, but I just want to record sceneries. I just want to record, you know, like beautiful sceneries, like either in the Philippines, Japan, Korea, without having, you know, without having like, you know, those, you know, the people from those countries looking at me at a bad eye or something, thinking that I'm a vlogger or something like that, or a live streamer, you know. But I'm just like, no, I'm just trying to record, you know, the beautiful scenery, the food, the people, you know, either festivals if I come into the festivals, or the beautiful seasons, you know, and all this other stuff. That's what I would totally 100% do personally. But you know, it is what it is. That's the end of the video. Anyways, like I said, so many of them. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be another one in the future. And peace.